Today's lesson is called A Smarter Way to Brainstorm. Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff.
I'm Roger. Today we're talking about something called brainstorming. Of course, the brain is the organ in your head that helps you think. And if you're brainstorming, you're trying to come up with all sorts of different ideas for something. If you're working on a class project, or if you're trying to come up with a new marketing strategy in your company, you're going to use brainstorming. But I guess there's a smart way to brainstorm, so that's what we are going to be talking about today.
There you go, brainstorming. When you brainstorm, you try to come up with new and interesting and novel ideas. A group of people gets together and they throw stuff up against the wall. They throw ideas up against the wall to see what sticks. Now, notice there are a lot of metaphors flying around here. First of all, yes, brainstorm. Yes, we're talking about thinking, so the word brain makes sense, but this word storm might seem out of place. But we're not talking about thunder and lightning and wind and rain, not that type of storm. No, to brainstorm is to get together and to think of new ideas. And yes, if you get together with a group of people and you brainstorm, you might try out different ideas. People put forth certain ideas or thoughts, and people consider them, discuss them, and see what works. And when you do that, you are throwing something up against the wall to see what sticks. Anyways, today, yes, we're going to be learning about brainstorming, but we're going to be learning about a better way to brainstorm, a smarter way to brainstorm. So let's go ahead and take a break, but when we come back, we'll get started on our lesson.
A smarter way to brainstorm. When we need to come up with a novel idea or solve a complex problem, most people's go-to method is brainstorming. But did you know that few of us are brainstorming effectively? To learn how to do it better, we must understand how the creative process works. When brainstorming, we can't expect to immediately hit upon a brilliant concept. Instead, we draw on things we've heard of before. The first idea reminds us of something else, which sparks another idea. Each small thought leads to another until we finally make a breakthrough.
大家好，首先在第一部分我们看到的单字是动词 spark， 表示触发、引起。例如 The popular commercial sparked demand for the product。 这个受欢迎的广告刺激了对此产品的需求。这个字也可以当名词，有火花、火星的意思。像是 Nick threw branches on the fire, causing sparks to fly up in the air。 Nick 把树枝丢进火里，使得空中飞溅出火花。接下来我们看到的单字是名词 breakthrough， 意指突破、重大进展。举例来说 The discovery of electricity was one of humanity's greatest scientific breakthroughs。 电的发现是人类最伟大的科学进展之一。
Okay, everybody, it's time for us to discuss the first part of our lesson for today. So again, we're talking about brainstorming, and the article begins by saying, when we need to come up with a novel idea or solve a complex problem, most people's go-to method is brainstorming. So yes, if you're with a group of people and you all need to come up with a new, interesting idea that hasn't been thought of before, or if you want to solve a problem that's complex or complicated or difficult to solve, what you do is you do brainstorming. It's most people's go-to method.
Yes, that's what they normally do when they need to solve a complex problem or when they need to come up with a novel idea. And I use this adjective novel during the introduction, okay, a novel idea is a new and an interesting idea. That's all there is to it. Further, a complex problem. If something is complex, it's complicated. It's hard to understand. So, brainstorming. Why do people brainstorm? Because they want to come up with a new and interesting and novel idea, or because there's a tough problem that they need to solve. But even though brainstorming is really common, did you know that few of us are brainstorming effectively? So all of us are brainstorming. All of us have brainstormed at one time or another, but apparently few of us are doing it well. Few of us are brainstorming effectively.
Right, without effect. It's ineffective, basically. So, yes, we think we're coming up with clever ideas. We think we're smart. We think we're coming up with novel ideas. But most of us are not doing it effectively. So that's why we're talking about a smarter way to brainstorm in today's lesson. Now, it goes on here to say, to learn how to do it better, how to do brainstorming better, we must understand how the creative process works. It's a process. It has certain steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. And we're all talking about the creative process, how we come up with new and novel ideas.
New and novel and interesting and original ideas. One of the big strengths of brainstorming is that you do it as a group. Everybody tries to put forth an idea or a thought, and then as a group you discuss those things and try to find interesting connections between those thoughts and ideas. And hopefully at the end you've come up with a really good thought, okay, a really novel idea or a solution to your complex problem. But apparently we can brainstorm better. We're not doing it right now as well as we could. So to improve, to do things better, we have to understand how the creative process works. Now, when brainstorming, our article continues, we can't expect to immediately hit upon a brilliant concept. Yes, being creative is not easy. Some people like Picasso, they make it look easy. Picasso could paint maybe 10 canvases in a single day, but Picasso was a creative genius. He was the exception to the rule. For the rest of us, we've got to work hard to be creative. So don't expect to immediately hit upon a brilliant concept. And here we've got this phrase, to hit upon something. Here, we're not being literal. We're not striking something with our fists or kicking something. We're not hitting that thing really. But to hit upon something, it does have a meaning. To hit upon something is to think of that thing. You think of that thing as though you were finding it for the first time maybe, or as though you were discovering that thing. Further, we also have the word concept. A concept is kind of like an idea from which other ideas might come. So it might be unfinished, but this concept might be an idea that produces other ideas.
Right, so I could say, for example, that a lot of people have difficulty understanding the concept of relativity, or the scientific idea of relativity as created by Albert Einstein. Okay, so again, we're talking about brainstorming, and you know, it might sound easy, but we just can't come up with a brilliant idea. We can't hit on that concept that we're trying to think about for whatever solution we're trying to come up with, but instead we draw on things we've heard of before. The first idea reminds us of something else, which sparks another idea. Kind of sounds like a chain there. So here we've got the concept of drawing on something. No, we're not doing sketches. We don't have paint brushes. We don't have pencils and pens. To draw on here as a verb phrase just means you rely on these things, you use them as a reference, they help you come up with some ideas.
There you go. That's what it is to draw on things. So we draw on things we've heard before. That is, we use or reference these things. We use these things as a resource to spur our thoughts, to help us think of other things, so on, so forth. You could say the explorer drew on his vast knowledge of the Amazon rainforest to get back to camp safely. Okay, he knew all about the Amazon rainforest. He'd been there before. He's a famous explorer, so he used his knowledge to help him out. Anyways, as far as the creative concept is concerned, you don't immediately hit upon a brilliant concept, okay? You go from one idea to the next, and you might start with an idea that you already know. And yes, each small thought leads to another until we finally make a breakthrough. And there's that chain reaction that Roger was talking about. One thing leads to another, and then voila, you've got yourself a breakthrough, a fantastic idea that's new and novel and wonderful. That's when brainstorming really, really works out well for you. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
It seems logical that group brainstorming would be most efficient because members can build on each other's ideas, but a team setting actually reduces creativity. Some members may not feel comfortable sharing their ideas, while others dominate the conversation. Another big problem is groupthink, which happens when team members are influenced by others' ideas, making it harder to think of original ones.
第二部分我们看到的单字是 logical， 这个字为形容词，指合理的或合乎逻辑的。例如 I think that his story is made up because nothing he said sounded logical to me. 我认为他那故事是编的，因为他说的话听起来对我来说完全不合逻辑。这个字如果去掉字尾 al 就会变成名词 logic， 代表逻辑的意思。例如这个谜题需要一定程度的逻辑才有办法解决。英文就是 This puzzle requires a certain amount of logic to solve. 再来我们看到的单字是 setting， 这个字是名词，表示环境。例如 I only wear the suit in formal settings. 我只会在正式的场合中穿这套西装。这个字也可以有小说、戏剧的情节背景的意思。例如The setting for the story was a German town at the end of World War II. 这个故事将背景设在二次大战中的德国小镇。
Let's move on now to the second part of our lesson, shall we? Now here it says, it seems logical that group brainstorming would be most efficient because members can build on each other's ideas. But a team setting actually reduces creativity. So it seems reasonable, it seems logical that if people get together and do brainstorming, that would be the most efficient. Yes, that does sound logical to me. It sounds reasonable. If everybody gets together, we're going to come up with all sorts of ideas because we build on each other's ideas. Bill had an idea that reminds me of something else, so I can improve on that idea. And then Lisa over there hears my thoughts and she adds her own ideas to that. Yes, it seems logical that we would actually build on each other's ideas. To build on, to use something else as a foundation and keep going up and up and up.
There you go. This seems logical. It seems to make sense, okay? And by the way, this is how I've always done brainstorming. You'll rarely do brainstorming alone, but maybe you should. It says here that group brainstorming might not be as effective as other types of brainstorming, i.e. maybe brainstorming when you're alone. So there you have it. It's logical that group brainstorming would be the most efficient, but that's not the case. Why? It says here that yes, it seems logical, but a team setting actually reduces creativity. So more people, more ideas, more connections doesn't necessarily mean more creativity. Get this, some members of a group may not feel comfortable sharing their ideas while others dominate the conversation. By the way, if you dominate something, you take that thing over. Yes, you have power over others, let's say, in a conversation, and then you use it. Yes, if something dominates, by the way, yes, people can dominate a place or a conversation, but things can dominate too. If something dominates, it's the most important, it's the most prominent thing, so on and so forth, in some place. It stands out and it obscures everything else. You can only see that thing.
Exactly. Many people dominate other people. My father dominated my mother in their marriage to a certain degree and not in other areas, but still, some people dominate the conversation and some people are not comfortable sharing their ideas. Maybe they're a little shy or something like that. Now, another big problem is groupthink, which happens when team members are influenced by others' ideas, making it harder to think of original ones. So yes, indeed, there's groupthink. You got people out there coming up with ideas, and you kind of forget about your own ideas. Gee, I was going to say something, but, Tim there had a pretty good idea. I guess my idea is no good then. I guess I won't mention it. That's kind of what groupthink is all about.
That's what groupthink is all about. People can no longer think as individuals because they're in a group, and the group produces these thoughts that aren't super creative. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's lesson on brainstorming.
To make the process more productive, try switching between individual and group brainstorming. This way, people will have time to rack their brains alone first, and then their ideas can be shared and improved by putting their heads together afterward.
今天最后一个单字是形容词 productive， 意指富有成效的或有生产力的。举例来说， We had a productive day in the garden, and almost everything is planted. 我们今天在花园度过很有成效的一天，几乎所有的东西都种好了。另外，这个字的名词则为 productivity, P-R-O-D-U-C-T-I-V-I-T-Y, 代表生产力。例如 Staying up late and eating badly will lower your productivity at work. 熬夜又吃得不好，会让你在工作上的生产力下降。
Okay, let's talk about the final part of today's lesson. Here it begins by saying, to make the process more productive, try switching between individual and group brainstorming. So yes, here we've got productive. That means how to be more efficient, how to produce more things in less time. You need to switch between A and B, kind of trade back and forth or go back and forth between the individual, single people, and the group. Okay, so switch back and forth between individual and group brainstorming to be more productive.
So, group brainstorming alone, not super efficient. Individual brainstorming alone might not work either, but you put them together. If you put them together in a balanced way, hey, this can make you more productive. You'll be able to do more. Yes, productive means capable of doing a lot efficiently. If you are productive, you can produce a lot. You could say, stop criticizing Amy. Criticism like that is not productive. It won't help us do anything or to progress or anything like that. Okay, moving on. The final sentence of today's lesson says this way, people will have time to rack their brains alone first, and then their ideas can be shared and improved by putting their heads together afterwards. So individually brainstorm first, okay? I guess that avoids the groupthink, and then bring your ideas to the group, and the group can go through those ideas and figure out the best way to move forward. Now, one more metaphor before we go. To rack your brain, well, that means that you think hard about something in order to figure that thing out. You try to solve a problem by thinking about it a lot.
You could say rack your brain or rack your brains. Both are acceptable. And so, yes, think as an individual first, and then you can share your ideas with the group. And you can put your heads together afterwards, which means everybody thinks together and you try to come up with solutions, of course, after you've thought about this question by yourself. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation. It's time now to hear from our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分有一个句子是 When brainstorming, we can't expect to immediately hit upon a brilliant concept. 脑力激荡时，我们不能期待立刻就能想到一个绝妙的想法。好，那么句子里面的 hit upon 也可以说 hit on， 表示碰巧想出什么什么东西。那这个片语呢，是用来表达在没有预料的情况下想到可以解决问题的办法。那有一个相似的片语是 come up with， 表示想到想出。那这个片语是用来表达想出点子或是方法。它的受词呢，常常是创新的点子或者是解决问题的方法。那么另外要介绍一个句型是 when 加上现在分词或过去分词，逗号主词加动词。好，这个句型呢，它是由 when 主词加动词，逗号主词加动词这样的句子简化而来的分词构句。当 when 引导的副词子句它的主词跟主要子句的主词相同的时候，这个 when 引导的副词子句主词是可以省略的。动词是主动的话，你就把它改成现在分词；被动的话就只保留过去分词，那就会形成分词构句的句型 when 现在分词或过去分词，逗号主词加动词。举例来说 Jake often tosses and turns when sleeping。Jake 睡觉时常会翻来覆去。好，回头来看课文的句子 when 的后方呢，他说 when brainstorming， 这个 when 的后方就是省略了相同的主词 we。 那么脑力激荡 brainstorm 它是主动动词，所以 when 的后方就是直接接现在分词 brainstorming。 好，接着读到课文第二部分有一个句子 Some members may not feel comfortable sharing their ideas,while others dominate the conversation. 有些成员可能对于分享他们点子会感到不自在，那有些人则可能主导对话进行。这边要提醒同学们 some 什么什么 others 什么什么，这表示有些怎么样，有些怎么样。那这个用法是用来列举复数可数名词当中的两类。如果你想要列举其中的三类，则是用 some 什么什么others 什么什么 still others 什么什么。你可以在最后一组的前方加上连接词，像是用 and 或者是 while 来连接。举例来说 Some people keep dogs as pets, while others have cats. 有些人养狗当宠物，而有些人养猫。好，另外课文句子里面有一个单字 dominate， 我们就来学习它的字根。dominate 它的 D-O-M-I-N 这个字根有统治的意思，那么 A-T-E 是动词字尾， dominate 它具有支配、统治、主导、主宰的语义。如果我们在字根 D-O-M-I-N 后面接上名词字尾 I-O-N， 变成 Dominion 这个名词它就表示统治、管辖，那它还有领土的意思。那我们再补充一个单字是 predominant 它的字首 P-R-E 表示之前、事先或是在什么什么之前。那我们刚刚说 D-O-M-I-N 表示控制，我们在后面再接上 A-N-T 形容词字尾，把它们合在一起，就会变成形容词 predominant， 用来形容主导的、占优势的或是占支配地位的。好，以上是今天重点整理，接着回顾今天的单字吧。
Concept The concept for the new technology actually came from a science fiction movie made in the 1980s. Spark. The description on the back of the book sparked Elena's interest. Logical. If you can't handle living somewhere with such a long winter, the logical thing to do is to move to a warmer place. Setting. Julian never sleeps well in a hotel because he finds it hard to relax in an unfamiliar setting. Dominate. Phones running an Android operating system dominate the market. Productive. Mary is a night owl, so her most productive time to do work is the late evening.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.